Happy Halloween and welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and I've got a special one for you today, folks, because today I'm looking at Spookies, which was filmed in '84, had a premiere in '86, didn't reach the US until '87 or '88, so yeah, it's one of those. What is Spookies? Well, an absolute delight. It's a haunted house movie where adults of varying ages are besieged by a parade of monsters, with makeup effects way better than they have any right to be. The monsters act under the direction of an old warlock named Creon, who's got a wife he's been keeping preserved for 70 years. Also, he has a cat man. Also, all that wacky Creon shit I just mentioned, never part of the original movie. It was added by different filmmakers and edited together after the fact. At this point, I consider the Kill Count a celebration of movie making. I love seeing how these films get made and learning who was responsible for what. So it's only fitting that my treat for Halloween is a movie with a ludicrous production tale. Lots of people got in lots of arguments making this thing. And what did they wind up with when all was said and done? A movie with farting shit monsters. Dogma, eat your heart out. I love many a low-budget hot mess movie, especially from the early to mid-'80s. But Spookies is something unique. And guess what? You can watch it on Shudder, which is exactly why it's my favorite streaming service. It may be Halloween, but that doesn't mean you need to stop watching horror. Please keep watching horror. It's so easy to do with Shudder, thanks to their expertly curated collection that includes Psycho Goreman, Vicious Fun, and the Mortuary collection. They've also got original films and series. VHS 94 premiered this month, as did a series called Behind the Monsters, which explores famous horror icons. Nice. There's also great horror documentaries and the hit TV series Creepshow from executive producer Greg Nicotero of The Walking Dead. I use Shudder on every screen in my house. Gym, living room, bedroom, phone. It works on all the devices. And how can you beat the price, y'all? Only $5.99 a month or $56.99 a year. I mean this with all of my heart. Get Shudder and keep watching horror all year round. Get started streaming the best horror, thriller, and supernatural content. Try it free for 30 days by going to shudder.com and using promo code DeadMeatJames. It's been a long month, but I'm happy to end it this way. Happy Halloween. Please enjoy this trash. The movie begins at a cemetery mansion, which oversees graves made of stretch fabric, makes them Skelly's butts look good. There's a boy named Billy out here being stalked by a cat man. I like Billy. He looks like he'd be that shitbird kid down the block who you could go to a field and burn stuff with. I was also that kid. It was me. It's Billy's birthday and his parents forgot. And if that wasn't bad enough, now there's this guy in a tree.
You just seem kind of nervous.
Oh, the kid seems nervous? I can't imagine why.
So how old are you, kid? 12?
Oh, wait, no, that's probably why. Listen, I can't include this whole weird-ass conversation, but a highlight is this 30-something calling himself an old man.
Give an old man a light.
After Billy leaves him, the cat man attacks, and the old man is killed. Hey, Billy, you didn't hear that? Billy heads towards the mansion while Jawa prances around? Inside, he finds a birthday party that somehow has sad balloons. Mournful balloons. But hey, at least it's a birthday party for him.
This is really great.
Hold up though, Bill. Did you get the present you wanted?
Happy birthday, Billy.
Wasn't that on your wish list, evil laughing head? No? Billy runs outside where he's pursued by the Catman who, oh, hey, I guess he has a hook for a hand. Catman looks like the theater kid who was into it way too much. He snarls and swipes after Billy the Kid, and after catching up, scratches his face and throws him into a grave. Damn, Billy, you getting the full Willem Dafoe there. Catman buries Billy alive, and since we never see him escape, this must be it for the poor dumb kid. Only thing left to do is for Catman to jazzercise his little cat butt back inside. So all that Billy shit was part of the movie made after the fact, which was centered around the warlock Creon who owns Catman as a pet. Creon's inside the mansion with his bride Isabel, who's been in a preservation coma for the past 70 years. He needs power or something to bring her back to life, and to gain that power, he'll use his mansion to claim sacrificial lives. Enter the plot of the original movie that was made, which follows a large group of, I guess we'll call them friends. They're lost because Duke, this hothead who wears garbage bags, wants to find a random party. That's when they come across the cemetery mansion. The plot with the group of friends was made as a movie called Twisted Souls, Spookies. The dudes driving that production were co-directors Brendan Faulkner and Tom Doran, who had been friends since first grade, and co-writer and producer Frank Farrell. The Twisted Souls guys had never made a movie before, but they loved horror. They drove through a blizzard to be extras in Dawn of the Dead. You can see Frank Farrell as the seltzer zombie and Brendan Faulkner getting pied in the face. They were hired to make a movie by financier Michael Lee, a British dude who got rich fast buying the rights to video nasties and selling them through his company Vipco. The conflict between Lee and these guys is why this movie's production was a mess. Just constant butting of heads on every little thing.
I have a wonderful title, Bowleruptor. We thought he was joking, and then we realized he wasn't.
It's a fascinating story, and for more details, check out the 2019 documentary Twisted Tale, The Unmaking of Spookies, and the 2014 Dissolve article written by Max Every. As far as the friend group from Twisted Souls goes, it is large and unwieldy. You got Duke, the meanest mofo with permanently pursed lips around, and you also got Peter, a middle-aged dude who's constantly fretting about.
This has got to be private property.
Don't stay. Just leave the trouble to me.
I actually like the conflict between these two. It's weirdly believable. Although why these people are together, it's hard to pin down, even with a line from Peter's pretty partner Megan.
It's funny, I grew up with these people.
In fact, some of the actors didn't even know what was going on.
How did these people get together in the first place? How did we all meet?
What the hell was that?
The clown of the crew is Rich, who makes adult Richie from the It miniseries seem like George Carlin.
I'd like to try to have a couple of more beers in me before I'm splattered across the landscape. At the moment, I'm much too sober to appreciate it.
And wait, it gets worse. Motherfucker's got a puppet named Mookie.
Oh no, is he starting with that thing again?
Yeah, Duke, he is. Rich is one of those characters played by a guy the filmmakers thought was hilarious. Like that one dude in The Mutilator. He was played by a childhood friend of the directors, the late Peter Iasillo Jr. Everyone spoke very highly of Iasillo, saying he was able to keep spirits high on set. Inside the house, Duke randomly becomes fixated with opening a door. My god. He hacks away at it until it opens to reveal a black void, and also a bastard Skelly falling over and getting familiar with Duke. He's not too bothered though. He doesn't even think this corpse is real.
Come on, mister. You ever see a dead man like this before?
Never seen a dead man like this man before. The dead man fell out with a fancy Ouija board, and hey, they just so happened to have a planchette. It fell out of a box on the shelf.
That's the thing that fell out of the box on the shelf.
See, Duke remembers. Duke's girlfriend Linda sits down to use the board, and things quickly start to turn south. Now, remember, originally the scene would have just been the Ouija board spelling out answers, but the second production added in Creon answering alongside it. It kind of works, honestly.
Ask it when the hell we're going home.
N-E-V-E-R.
And while Creon looks pretty shitty in general, the pulsating forehead vein's a nice touch. All that vein throbbing has an effect on Carol, who's been into this house ever since they found it.
I like this house.
Creon squeezes a white pawn, it turns into a black one, and now Carol's looking like a deadite. Seriously, this makeup shouldn't be this good! The difference in makeup quality between the plot lines is, again, because different people made them. Twisted Souls, as made by Faulkner and Doran, had a talented team of effects artists making a parade of kick-ass monsters. But moneyman Michael Lee kept trying to butt in during production, and when they got to editing, Lee freaked out, not understanding what a rough cut was. Increasing conflicts led to Faulkner and Doran quitting, even though they said the movie was 90% done. And y'all, I have never heard people talk this much shit about a producer.
Michael Lee, the producer,
Hopefully he burns in hell. His name is Michael Lee. I don't know if he's still alive, hopefully not.
He goes, I have some wonderful news. Like, you only have a day to live?
I hope Michael Lee is burning in hell wherever he is.
The cast and crew stayed loyal to the directors and didn't return for the new shoots when asked.
The guy with the vein in his head. I don't know these people.
To direct the new material, Lee hired Jeannie Joseph, an editor who had worked for Troma. Lee had asked Joseph for advice editing Twisted Souls, and she said there was only 45 minutes worth saving. The original filmmakers say that's bullshit and call her opportunistic, but if Michael Lee was gonna fuck the movie up anyway, I don't begrudge Jeannie Joseph for taking an opportunity. I understand the frustration of the original crew. A lot of people worked hard on this thing, and it was completely taken away from them.
Is there a single shot cut to another shot that is
the way you intended it? And he said, no, nothing. There is not anything in that film that cuts to another shot. That is the way it should be.
Personally, I enjoy the weird-ass end result, but I get that they wanted something different. I do wish I heard more from Jeannie Joseph herself, though. I thought the Twisted Souls guys harped a bit too much on her involvement with softcore porn, especially considering that plenty of them had worked on those types of films too. In fact, my research led me to posts within the past year from some of them still kind of fixated on her. It's a little weird. Carol knocks out Duke with a bottle and then attacks her own boyfriend whose name has never been said once. All in all though, pretty lame-ass attack there, Carol. Also, it's around here that I realized the Creon filmmakers were halfway into Mystery Science Theater territory.
Make sure she makes their departure somewhat amusing.
Y'all doing bits now? Those two shriekers are another couple, Adrian and Dave. They look like they got lost on their way to the Father's Day Creepshow short. That other guy runs outside too and trips in front of a gravestone that reads Lewis Wilson. Who's that? Is that him? I guess so. Lewis Wilson, apparently, dies by sinking into his own grave. Yo, Catman, fuck off, dude. You're not even really there. Adrian and Dave run back inside while avoiding invisible ghosts that were supposed to be added later but never were, because spookies. I love that actor Anthony Valbiro recreated this ridiculousness decades later at the same location. The mansion is played by the 24-room John Jay estate in Rye, New York. John Jay, as in the Federalist Papers author and first Chief Justice of the United States. It's where Jay grew up and where he, Ben Franklin, and John Adams celebrated after the Revolutionary War. Yet the building was crumbling when this movie was made and on the verge of being turned into condos. The estate has since been revitalized, in part due to Spookies, since production cleaned the place up and got its utilities working. The group is torn on what to do. Duke wants to make a run for it, but sorry dude, there are a whole bunch of zombies out there now. Oh man, these makeup effects are so good! With zombies outside, these people are trapped inside, so they better come up with a plan fast. What you got, Peter?
One by one. We're all going to die.
Great! Anyone got anything better? It's time for the horror movie characters to split up, so Duke and Linda go off with a candle on their own. Megan, Peter, and Rich head upstairs, while Adrian and Dave hang back so they can smoke and hate each other.
David, throw that crap away.
Why? Because you say so?
Oh yeah, and Carol's lurking around somewhere too. Creon's got enough power now to wake Isabel back up. Let's see how it goes.
I have waited by your side day and night for an entire lifetime.
Stay away!
Ooh, not great. Creon, think you can salvage this, brah?
Please. Let me die.
Probably not. Isabel swears up and down that Creon will never have her. Never! And not just because he looks like the corpse of Seth Meyers. She's also never loved him. Never!
Can't you see I've always hated you?
Duke pushes through a random door and tumbles down a flight of stairs, exposing his hairy little tum-tum. He's fine though. The only thing he's suffering from is a bad bout of haunted house horniness.
Look at me, I'm Duke the Horny Ghost.
Well, we've had zombies and we've had ghosts. Next logical step is shit monsters. Yeah, here's the scene. With muckmen so disgusting, you can seriously smell them through the screen. Holy shit, I'm dying, y'all. I think farts are so funny sometimes. The Muckman costumes were made by Gabe Bartalos using expanding urethane foam. He also played one of them, and since they shot this scene on Halloween night, he wound up winning a prize as a Muckman at a costume party. Helping him make the suits was Jennifer Aspinall, who had just designed freaking Toxie in the OG Toxic Avenger. She'd later work on Street Trash and then Mad TV for 12 years, during which time she won an Emmy for Outstanding Makeup. Cool. As for the farts, they were added during editing because Michael Lee thought they'd be hilarious.
He was into all things anal.
The job fell to new sound editor Brian O'Hara.
Prior to that, I'd only really worked on porno films.
It wasn't exactly a passion project for him.
After I watched Spookies the first time, I thought it was pretty much a piece of crap.
O'Hara made fart noises in all the usual ways, and muck sounds by lubing up his hand with goopy soap, and then, well...
And then I took a raw chicken and I basically just, fist fucked it.
But he needs you to know it was a dead raw chicken.
I don't condone, fist fucking live chickens, no way.
So there you go. Jeannie Joseph fought hard against the fart noises, so much that Lee fired her only to rehire her the next day. The flatulence stayed in the picture, much to the chagrin of the guys who had filmed the scene.
we hated.
It was especially hard on co-director Thomas Doran. Doran wasn't allowed to have a copy of Twisted Souls cut how he wanted, and he wasn't able to find much filmmaking work afterward. He's spoken of as a kind, multifaceted artist, but he refused to go on record about Spookies before passing away in 2016. In a real sweet gesture, some of his ashes were taken to his family's home country of Scotland, and buried there by John Beatty, who was one of the Muckmen performers. Duke gets in an altercation with the middle-sized turd. Just be glad you ain't going toe-to-toe with this farty foe, Duke. That is one big pile of shit. And now, all of them are melted, thanks to a bunch of wine. Sure, yeah, that makes sense. You know what else makes sense? Me putting these 3 shit monsters on the kill count. I mean, they're clearly humanoid, right? That's kind of a rule I follow. Tell you what, though, make sure you don't eat any of this episode's pie chart, okay? Rich somehow gets separated from Peter and Megan and gets trapped behind a door that won't open. Ooh, yeah, edit in Catman holding it shut. Great idea. While trying to find Rich, Megan and Peter stumble upon a hanging body. I guess I'll count this lady. Sure, she's not a full skeleton yet. After many an argument with Adrian, Dave falls asleep on this dirty pull-out mattress. Partner hating sure does take a lot out of you. Like a whole half a face out of you, truth be told. David's been killed by these little reptile guys who are being summoned by Carol with the Ouija board. The board was designed by Cecilia Cosentini, art director and wife of co-director Tom Doran. It has images of the monsters on it since their spirits are trapped within. The possessed Carol is letting them out to attack one by one. Glad she freed these snake demons. They're fun. So fun that Catman edits his way into the scene as a spectator. The battle here is longer and has more dramatic music than I'd expect. But I mean, those lizard guys look pretty good, so might as well use them a lot. I love when Adrian smushes one of them. I did not expect that much blood. The snake demons were a Ray Harryhausen-like creation designed by John Dodds, a very talented creature sculptor. They were cable-controlled puppets operated from beneath the floor, which was raised 2 feet so the puppeteers could get underneath it. Adrian escapes and has a vision of Dave down a hallway, but he quickly becomes a monster man. This feels like a low-budget version of a famous scare from Shock, made by Bay of Blood's director Mario Bava in '77. Once you know the scare, you'll see it referenced in other horror movies. The new monster may not be the most expressive feller, but he's got tentacles and electric powers that are strong enough to murder Adrian. Holy shit, then he manages to melt her face with stop motion? Oh, I hope that's a happy noise, Mr. Monster Man. You earned it with that awesome kill. The hallway demon was worked on by original makeup artist Arnold Gargiulo before he got fired 2 weeks into production for turning in subpar work. Replacing Gargiulo was Gabe Bartalos, who was between 15 and 17 years old at the time. I can't nail it down. Bartalos is why this movie's monsters are so freaking great. He'd go on to do the amazing Leprechaun makeup for all the Warwick Davis films, and make all the characters in the Basket Case sequels. Guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Duke and Linda walk around, not noticing little blue boys in Harry Potter bedrooms. Probably because he was edited in later. That creepy kid is Corda, the son of Creon and Isabel. She didn't know about him though. So, meet your son, Izzy. She doesn't like him. Now Isabel's on the run with the Catman in heated pursuit. She runs so much, she winds up with a different hairstyle. But this is only the start of her running. Trust me, if you like seeing Isabel flee, you're gonna love the end of this movie. First, she's gotta get away from, this fucking thing, a witch lady who is not the best puppet I've ever seen. Puppeteer ain't the best at hiding either. Too late, dude! Isabel rightly thinks that this banshee looks dumb, and she simply runs away from it. Moving on! Peter and Megan reunite with Duke and Linda, and the tension between the boys boils over. Place your bets as they duke it out, everyone. Middle-aged square or literal human trash. They go at it for so long, man. Duke even tries to bogard Peter. I keep waiting for Peter to say, "No, now you've had enough, bitch." The forever fight between Peter and Duke is interrupted by another monster Carol summons with her Ouija board. A Grim Reaper statue who turns into an awesome looking rubber guy. Yes! Wow, I want this mofo on my front lawn for show. Sure, he can only move quickly when his back is turned to the camera, but hey, he still manages to kill Duke. Granted, I didn't think this was a kill at first, but it is. No wonder Peter flies through the fucking door to get out. Good call, dude. This Grim Reaper guy ain't playing. Peter, Megan, and an injured Linda climb out to the building's roof. Oh no, y'all are cornered. This might be the end of the line, old chap, unless you can find some kind of weak... Oh, okay, he just blows up. Great! They recklessly made this explosion with an M80 and 2 cans of WD-40 strapped together. You can literally see one of the WD-40 lids flying through the air on the right side of the frame. Oh, and yeah, I know the Reaper was humanoid, but he was also a statue, so he doesn't count. Rich is still wandering around by himself. Carol keeps DJing on that wiki Ouija board and is able to play another hit single just for him, a woman who tells Rich to come with her.
I told you there is no time. Do you want to die here?
He follows her because, I mean, yeah, but of course this was a trap. A spider trap, because this is the spider section of the film. And here's our host for the evening, the lovely Spider Woman. She really knows how to captivate her audience. She begins her long transformation process. Oh wow, is Spider Woman half Klingon? Her head grows bigger and splits open to pulsate, and if that wasn't gross enough, now she's got spider legs sprouting from her body. Dear lord, this is horrific. Rich, you're totally fucked, dude. Her final form is the nastiest of all, especially when it starts gushing water. Oh my god. Spider-Woman kills Rich with a knockoff alien bite that turns him into a human hot water bag. The Spider-Woman is another incredible creation of John Dodds. Her 5 stages of transformation required various makeup designs on Korean actor Soo Paik. As the spider gets bigger, Paik was swapped out for cable-controlled prosthetics, and by its final form, the thing is just one giant nasty model. Dodds had also designed a final stage that would have used stop motion, but they ran out of money for that, unfortunately. Helping sell the effects is the setting of the Spider-Woman's lair, made in a room at the John Jay estate by art director Tom Molinelli pretty much all by himself. Peter, Megan, and Linda try to escape again, but they can't get past Carol, who's having a sweet-looking concert. Yo, Carol's dope as hell. She has powers and quotes Evil Dead.
Join us.
This is when the stuff with Creon really falls apart, because he's there lecturing his son on how to play chess and be a sorcerer, but Carol's also clearly a demon who's in control of this situation. In their attempt to make sense, Creon tells Corda to psychically destroy Carol. He does so, and Carol falls apart while his forehead vein throbs away. Carol's destruction causes some kind of power field to erupt, and it speeds up the aging process for Megan and Peter. Whoa, that's some messed up Twilight Zone shit. Peter sees a potion or something and crawls towards it like Smurf trying to press the red button. He manages to grab it and toss it into the Carol bomb, and I'll count him, Megan, and Linda as dead as the scene just kind of ends. Even though we didn't see Linda die, I think these 3 bodies we see later might be them. We're back to Isabel for the last 10 minutes of the film. Sad to hear actress Maria Pachucas passed away in 2017, but at least she said she had a blast during production and was proud of her work in it. She returns to Creon and tricks him by saying she'll love him forever, only to stab him in the forehead vein with an ice pick. Wait, that's all you had to do? You could have done that like an hour ago! She escapes out of a window and climbs to the ground where she meets another one of her kids. She doesn't like him. A simple and aggressive drum beat kicks in as zombies aplenty come out of the ground. Here it is, folks, a more than 4-minute scene of zombies chasing Isabel around. They occasionally rip some of her clothes off, they sometimes tackle and swarm her, but ultimately, they are not very effective. I know 4 minutes may not sound like a long time, but it is when it's just this. Night of the Living Dead, this is not. Pretty sure these zombies are played by local high schoolers too. And far too many of them are wearing flannel. Isabel finally manages to escape and gets out to a random car. It belongs to this random guy who hops in and starts to drive them away. Joke's on Isabel though, since the driver ends up being the Catman. Sorry lady! The movie ends with Creon coming out of that stretchy fabric grave, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave his death on the count, cause fuck it, I do what I want! Can you paste together a movie well enough to have a good body count?
And now he'll say, let's find out and get to the numbers.
Let's find out and get to the numbers. I counted 16 kills in Spookies! The victims were 6 men, 5 women, 1 little boy, a warlock, and 3 poop monsters. Again, keep this chart away from me. When it comes to pie, I don't fuck with muck. With a runtime of 85 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 5.31 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Adrian. The hallway monster isn't the most impressive of all the creatures, but I love the stop motion effect of her face melting. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Duke. I kept waiting for him to pop back up because I didn't believe this was an actual kill. And that's it. Spookies was originally shot as Twisted Souls, but renamed by Michael Lee because he thought it sounded like Goonies, and Goonies was successful. It is a mess of a movie on multiple levels, but you know what? Sony released it in theaters, and editor John Donaldson has a point here.
To have shot something and have it show up theatrically is against the odds, no matter what had to happen to get it into a theater.
I hope you all enjoyed this October. I've got good news for November. Watch the trailer. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. this has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
You have waited 4.5 years.
Well, this is it.
A blink of an eye in the face of eternity.
Oh, don't start.
But no matter, your humanly patience shall be rewarded.
Here you go. Oh, great.
We have such kills to show you.
I'm very happy.
I'm sure you are. Meet Frank Cotton.
Can I come in?
An unscrupulous man yearning for the outer limits of carnal pleasures.
It's never enough.
He solved the puzzle box. He came Frank. But now he is trying to flee us.
Just help me, will you?
And that we cannot allow.
So much for the cat and mouse shit.
Hellraiser is a horror film with sex and pain like no other. For in Hellraiser, pain is pleasure, pleasure is pain, and suffering is eternal.
That's what makes the pleasure so sweet.
Do not bother us with talk of poles or the mention of one Hannibal Lecter. The time for Hellraiser is now.
Okay, there's no hurry.
Watch it this week, then experience the Kill Count on Friday, only on Dead Meat.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Hellraiser can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Oh my God, the month is over. I've done big Octobers in the past, but it never felt this difficult before. Huge thanks to the Dead Meat crew, because without them, this wouldn't have been possible. So thank you the editing team, Bree, Josh, and Zoran. Mike for making to the numbers bits when I need them. Our assistant Ben, who's keeping everything together. The team at Made In, who makes the graphics and manages the channel. The live stream moderators who watch over uploads to check for mistakes. And you know what? I'll thank me and Chelsea too. We put in a lot of work this month, and I'm proud of us. Most of all though, thanks to all of you for continuing to tune in during our 5th year of doing this. I'm real excited for 2022. I've got some plans for it. Be good people.